How's everybody doing today? I hope you've had a great day. It's actually Father's Day, Sunday, Father's Day, so I'm a little more dressed down today than I normally am. I wanted to share with you guys today. It was kind of interesting because I was out in the field a lot yesterday doing appointments and whatnot. Had some great training in the morning, and I had an interaction with a woman that we did a presentation at her house. She had some family over and things like that. And it was actually a really great presentation. They kind of knew what they wanted as we were coming in, and as we kept explaining things, and kind of going over some of the different things that we could do to help her, we got a chance to sit down. And it was funny because I was talking to her and she said, yeah, I'm working with this, financial advisor, and he's a nice enough guy, but he has a lot of trouble closing. And so it kind of caught my ear when she said the word closing. I said, well, and what aspect do you work with him? And she said, well, I do a lot of the ins and outs, like making initial contact with a client, the follow-up, things like that. Pretty much everything but the sitting down and signing papers. I said, okay. So she had a pretty good, understanding of what it was to have interaction with the clients. She said, I'm just not licensed, So as I started picking her brain about a lot of different things, I hear this word a lot when I talk to people. I just want to be comfortable. And that word is, I think at one point, I really liked that word. It was one of those things you get a couch or a hammock or something or a bed, you want to be comfortable in it. But that's my place of rest. That's my place to relax. When I think about life, I think I want my life to be anything but comfortable. I don't want to just live in a place of comfortable, because for me, I can be in a tent camping and it can be freezing outside, but if I have the right sleeping bag, I'm comfortable, right? That's not really, I couldn't do that on a day-to-day basis. So when I think about life and going after things and how I want my family to be able to live and the type of life I want them to be able to thrive in, I don't think of the word comfortable. So I started picking her brain a little bit, and it usually stems from a place where somebody thinks they can't make enough money to be able to do the things they want to do. So people say, oh, I'm not really into materialistic things. I don't really want to do this now. I said, okay, well, what would you like to do? Well, I kind of want to travel, and, I'd like to stay here, but maybe upgrade the house a little bit, and, it'd be nice. And so it was one thing after another. And I said, well, what do you think it's going to take to do that? Well, I think this or that. And I said, okay, with getting to that point, would you rather take you 10 years or 30 years? So of course, 10 years. I said, okay. So you're not against the fact if I could get you there faster, you would take the faster track. And you do understand that by getting there faster, you might have to go outside of your comfort zone, but I promise you this, your family will live in a great sense, in a great place for a long time, and just by you living outside of your comfort zone and things like that. And as I started to dig deeper and deeper, I started to find out that it was just, she didn't feel like she had control of her life, so she had to accept comfortable as a means to an end. And so I told her, I said, what did I do here today? What did I present here today that you feel you couldn't do? She said, nothing. I said, okay, well, let's talk about sitting down, and I can show you how to do exactly what I'm doing, and you can go out and do those things for yourself. Right now, you're working for a person who promised you the moon and the stars and the sun and has never delivered. And so let's get you into a sense where you are in control of your own destiny. And so I wanted to share that first, because I think that word gets used a lot. I think people abuse that word. It reminds me of complacency. It reminds me of settling. Life is not to be settled for, right? Life is not to be comfortable. When I'm old and I can't work and I can't grind and my joints hurt and all, that's when I want to be comfortable. When I'm laid to rest, I want to be comfortable. Until then, throw me into the fire, please, because I perform best when I'm thrown in the fire. Now, it's Father's Day. I'm fired up. I'm 1,600 miles away from my wife and my kids. I was woken up today by the most beautiful thing. They called me on video chat. They had a gift waiting for me. I didn't even know it was, at my house. And it was a beautiful watch, because I just recently broke one of my favorite watches, and I had a cute card for my kids. I got pictures on my phone that showed me all these drawings they had done in preparation. And when you're grinding, what you're missing out on, the time and the importance and being away from your wife and your kids. But it's those little things that remind you. remind you what you're sacrificing for and remind you what you're grinding for. And, right now it's 6:30 in the afternoon or in the evening. It's 95 degrees still here in San Jose, California. And I'm getting to go swimming at a friend's house, go to a barbecue and go swimming at a friend's house. So I don't have the most horrible life, but I've made one of the biggest sacrifices I ever have over the last 2 months, and I haven't been around my kids, or my wife. And you know what's awesome? They're coming in 2 days. I cannot wait. I spent Father's Day not being able to look at posts of other people happy with their kids, and the posts are great. I'm always happy for people spending time with their families, but when you're not able to spend time with yours, it makes it ring true. It makes it a lot more realistic and everything like that. But being woken up like that by my wife and my kids, it was the most beautiful thing ever, and it completely caught me by surprise. And I've had a fantastic day. But let me tell you something. I've lived in an uncomfortable place. I've been outside of my comfort zone for the last 2 months, and I'm absolutely loving life. And I'm 2 days away from being able to see, my wife and kids again. So, man, any chance you get outside of your comfort zone, it will allow you to live the life you're meant to live instead of the life that somebody else says you should live. That's all I got for you today.